Hey guys, Adrian Kogan here from smartermedia.org, and today was my payday. I actually got paid in my local currency, yen, and US dollar, of course. So now I'm going to go about saving this and allocating it to what I need, etc., etc. So my vlog topic for today, that's vlog number 3, is actually going to be on my tips to saving, financial tips. I'll pick all of that up later. Alright, so first and foremost, what is spending? Why is it so important? Very basically, spending is taking a certain amount that you make and then taking a portion of that and then setting it aside. And that's really the basics of savings. You can do this in many ways. You can take money and you can put it under your bed. You can put it in a piggy bank, or you can open what they call a savings account, which I highly recommend, because basically the bank is taking money and they're holding it for you, and they're adding a bonus, what they call an interest, as time goes on. It's not granted it's not a huge bonus, but over time it will add up. And why savings is so important is just in the long run, the younger you can start and the better advantage you have. And savings is a great way to prepare for the future, in that whether you're going to college, whether you're, like me, I plan to start my own, or continue with my business as I get out of high school, not going to college, but whatever plans you may have in the future, there's going to be unexpected expenses, unexpected outcomes in life, and it's always good to have that extra set of money set aside for whatever reason it may be. So with that, let's jump right into the tips. Tip number 1, a little bit goes a long way in savings. Scheduling and setting aside cash every month really helps in the long run. So for example, let's say you took, about, going into my wallet here, let's say you took, you made $50 in a month, and you only took $10. You just took $10 of that. So $10 out of that $50 you made in a month. Maybe you don't have a job, maybe you do, and set that aside. Well, and obviously in a year you would have $120 that you didn't have before. And that's just, an example. Just taking a percentage, or even 10% of your income, or, chores that you do or whatever, and setting aside $10, or if you set aside $20, you'd have $240 a month. The more you put aside, the more you're going to have at the end of the year. For example, if you took $100 out of, let's say you had a paycheck, you would have $1,200 by the end of the year, and in 5 years, if you continue to do that, that'd be $6,000 you just saved up. And let's say you did that for years and years and years, and you would have over 20s of thousands of dollars, plus just from setting aside that $20 every end of the month, or $100 at the end of the month. Now, granted, not everybody can set aside $100, but something as simple again as $10 out of your paycheck, your chores, your allowance, your grade money, your whatever it may be. Setting aside helps, and it helps in the long a little bit aside helps in the long run. Number 2, planning it out. Everybody has different expenses. Whether you're younger or older, you have some different stuff as you grow. Obviously, you have bills, rent, food, and materialistic needs, of course. Stuff like watches and wallets and phones and computers, all the stuff that we don't necessarily need but we want. So you need to plan out for this stuff, sort it out, and a favorite quote of mine from Warren Buffett is, he said that, do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. That's the thing that we tend to do, is we tend to take money and we get money and we tend to blow it and then save what's left, where we should save what we get, wait a while, and then buy what we want in life, and then that way we have, that extra amount saved up. Number 3, income. Income has a lot to do with savings, and a lot of people tend to think that you need to have a gradual, earning a paycheck at the end of the month to save money. When you don't, you can be, I started, saving around 13, 14. I learned really, I was really frugal with my money very young, and that even if it was Christmas money or birthday money or money you just earned for doing whatever around the house, and later that evolved into entrepreneurship and stuff like that, but that little bit of money just setting aside really helped in the long way. So, let's say you don't have a job, you can convert your skills into cash. Nowadays it's so easy, whether you're mowing grass, whether you're cleaning your parents' car, or throwing out the trash, or for example, when I broke my phone a couple of years ago, my iPhone 3G, I learned how to replace the digitizer on that. And then from there I learned how to replace LCDs and home buttons, and that started me into a local business I still run today, which I got paid for a couple of $1,000s this morning, just for repairing these iPhones and iPod touches, and stuff like that. I turned that skill set into a business model, into cash. And again, you don't have to start a whole business, but again, something as simple as mowing the grass for your neighbors every week and taking that income and setting it aside is always a great way to save up a lot of money. With that, number 4, spending habits. Some stats. Typical American spends $1,092 a year on coffee. I'm very guilty of that. I drink a lot of coffee myself. $2,000 a year on lunch. $4,155 in gasoline, and $600 on their mobile phone. And there's a lot of other stuff. But this is just the average American with a family, etc. Take one of your spending habits. Look at your habits throughout the year or whatever. Look at your habits and try and cut one out or try and find an alternative. For example, with the coffee thing, I used to buy $3 cups of coffee from Starbucks. I buy coffee, I would say about 5 times a week. So that's about $15 for a $3 cup of coffee every week. That's $60, roughly estimating, a month, and $720 in the whole year. When you're buying it, it may not seem like a lot, but when people tend to do stuff like, a lot of people go to work or commute, tend to buy coffee every morning, and $720 a year for buying a $3 cup of coffee is what I used to do. Now I found an alternative. I buy coffee from another place for about $1. I buy it from my local, what they call a shopette here. That's $240 a year versus $720 a year, which is $480 saved a year on coffee, which isn't even a materialistic need in life, or which isn't even a necessity in life, I should say. So find one of your spending habits and try and just cut it out, or try finding an alternative in life. Buying something cheaper, making your own coffee. It's something I started doing as well, and taking it to work. Lastly, being passive with your money, and that there's needs and wants in life. And a lot of people tend to tell you that when you're saving, it's more focusing on the needs and kind of going away with the wants, when really I think that you should treat yourself every now and then. I'm not saying go blow your money on stuff that interests you. For example, my main interests are technology and jewelry and stuff like that. I like brand names and stuff like that. So I go aside and I save up and I buy stuff I like every now and then. I buy computers, I buy gadgets, I buy watches, I buy stuff for my car, etc., etc., because I think that you should treat yourself every now and then. You work hard, you deserve it. Obviously, don't go blowing your money on stuff, but treat yourself every now and then. And when it comes to other stuff like marketing, a sale isn't always a sale. It's what they call creative marketing. Make sure that you're getting a good deal, because there's always a better deal out there, whether it's online or at another retailer or buying used products. And lastly, one of the tips that helped me along the years is every New Year's I have a whiteboard that's been up there since 2008, or I've had the whiteboard since 2008. I make a list of the stuff I want throughout the year. iMac, PS3, speaker system, surround sound, whatever. And every year I go through and I make a list and I check off the products throughout the year as I buy them. It sets as a guideline for me throughout the year, so I know what I want to buy and I know what to spend my money on. So I make $500. I can find what's $500 on my list and knock it off. And then I start saving up for the next item, and etc., and I go down the list. Now, obviously, in life, you're going to deviate from the list. People tend to, they see something that's really cool, just came out, we can't predict, new iPhones, new, etc., and we buy that. We deviate. But this list still kind of sets as a guideline for me throughout the year. I mean, everybody has their own crazy methods and techniques to saving. These are mine. I hope it helped you guys out. I am Adrian from smartermedia.org, and I'll catch you all in the next video.